happening, my friends? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or even the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. We're always keeping it real. So kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, on today's conversation, we got a lot to unpack within this hour. Hopefully we can get done with most of it. As I mentioned on the last show, a couple of stories that we forgot to that we ran out of time to discuss. DJ Vlad of the also popular YouTube show Vlad, or excuse me, network VLAD TV. He's known to have some awesome and controversial and just must-seen interviews with folks, and he has around, I'm gonna say, almost 6 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. He said, "Look, if the Harris and Walz campaign would have contacted him for an interview, she probably would have won the election." Hmm. Knowing his platform, that's not hard to disagree with. As I mentioned before, Kamala Harris did do a sit down with Shannon Sharp on his podcast Club Shay Shay. Club Shay Shay's YouTube channel alone is around close to 4 million subscribers. Still a hefty amount of numbers, but nowhere near close to Joe Rogan's interview with former president, well, now president-elect, 47th president-elect Donald Trump, which Rogan's platform is around 18 million and some change subscribers, close to 20 million. The interview alone has already reached 48 million views. So we will talk a little more on that. Also, a former Congressman Anthony Weiner out of New York, he's thinking about returning to New York politics. It'll be iffy because he has had one of the most talked about scandals of really in pop culture. And I'll talk a little more on that. He's just trying to continue his comeback really in the public eye as well as in politics. Also, Lil Wayne is joining NFL GameDay Morning as a weekly guest analyst, so we'll talk a little more on that as well. And we have some more convos that we'll try and throw in the show. But once again, as always, my friends, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join the conversation. I know you could be binge watching your favorite TV show. You can be doing so much other things with your precious time, but you take the time to say, "Hey, look, I'm a fan of this program. I want to tune in to see what Arrington's talking about today." And I just want to thank you, thank you, thank you. Please share it with the masses. Continue to spread the word. The Arrington Gavin Show is a weeknight, unbiased, fun, entertaining, informative platform. We drop new episodes Monday through Friday on wherever you get your podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, also on the streaming platforms of YouTube and Rumble. Our YouTube channel is R Smooth Club Media, the letter R Smooth Club Media, or you can just type in the Arrington Gavin Show in your search bar. When you're on YouTube, you can also, if you are a Rumble subscriber, you can follow us at the Arrington Gavin Show. You can also listen to our show weeknights at 11 p.m. on our radio affiliate WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk out of Dallas, Georgia. Our social media handles are The Arrington Gavin Show on Instagram, The Arrington Gavin Show on X, formerly known as Twitter. And guess what? We've just joined Substack, at The Arrington Gavin Show. So if you are on Substack, look, I enjoy that platform because I get to vent, right? I get to vent, and I'll share some posts here and there and some opinions on some talked about convos. Like, obviously I vented off about the election. I'll be sharing some information, not information, but sharing my thoughts on the whole Supreme Court justice replacement. The whole rumor that Sotomayor should resign. But guess what? She's responding saying she's not going to resign. And a lot of people are saying she should, especially people on the left. They're saying she should resign. And then Donald Trump, Lord have mercy, Joe Biden can possibly move his vice president, Kamala Harris, who is, an expert when it comes to law. She can, replace her. because Sonia Mayor has been having difficulties with diabetes, and so I'll share a little bit about that on Substack, and just a little bit of everything, man. That's why I enjoy it. When I'm finished with this hour, my mind is still going on. I still love to talk and conversate and all that good stuff. So it's just another way to keep in touch with you all, the listeners, the viewers out there. Look, again, we got a lot to impact within this hour. Before I move forward, I do have to acknowledge some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Rugged is the new smooth. Rugged Evolution Beard Care is an all-natural men's grooming line that offers 17 scented beard balms, oils, conditioning shampoos, you name it, they have what you need to help enhance your facial hair care needs, okay? Men out there with mustache, goatees, or beards, if you are looking for a product to help enhance your facial hair, help moisturize it, help making sure the skin underneath the hair is taken care of, well, look, I highly recommend Rugged Evolution Beard Care products. They're going on about 6 years now. They're featured in Essence Magazine. You can find them not only on their website at ruggedevo.com, but you can also find them on walmart.com, amazon.com, Etsy, We Buy Black, you name it. They're on so many e-commerce, online e-commerce channels. E-commerce stores. So I want to thank them, as always, for being a proud supporter of the Arrington Gavin Show. Again, Rugged is the new smooth. We happen to be in the November month, which is No Shave November, to kind of catch you guys up on why men grow out their facial hairs. Because look, there's men out there that are battling cancer, right? They're battling cancer, and so we want you to know that we understand the struggle that you're going through, and losing your hair is difficult. But guess what? We're growing out our hair in support of you. Okay, we dedicate all of our our long beard. For those who don't even normally grow facial hair, we're dedicating that to you. And money that they're saving up from going to the barber shops, look, they donate to their local cancer organization. So all for a great cause. Again, while you're growing out that facial hair, Rugged Evolution Beard Care has some great products for you. So again, my friends, we thank them, and we couldn't do it without them. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, but before once we come back from that break, of course, I'll bring on our fun fact of the day, as we do. It's traditional here on the program. We like to provide just a quick fun fact, and then we get going within our conversation. So, my friends, don't go anywhere. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after this.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Arrington Gavin Show. As you know, we always like to throw in a fun fact before we get going with our conversation. On today's fun fact, I want to acknowledge that, did you guys know while listening to music, your heart can sink to the rhythm. That's pretty interesting because not everybody has rhythm. Not everybody can two-step, So the fact that your heart can move to the rhythm of a song, um, I wonder, does it get you excited like when you listen to a like a fast beat song or something, or like a slow beat? Like that's pretty interesting. I never really thought that. Maybe because I really don't listen to a lot of music like that. I'm a person. I listen to talk radio. I listen to other podcasts. I listen to people talking more than music. Yeah, call me weird, but hey, it's just that's my comfort zone. I can be driving for hours listening to podcasts or listening to a conversation amongst people. It's just it soothes me. And then I've mentioned before, I don't go to concerts like that. I go to comedy shows. Why? Because I like listening to people talk. So uh, call me crazy. At least that's what my wife says. She says I'm crazy. Mother-in-law too. Not mother-in-law. Well, yeah, my my in-laws and my mom. They probably think I'm a little nuts. So it's all good. It's all good. Well, look, as I mentioned earlier, guys, um, people are still recovering from election, right? Um, it's gonna happen. It's a natural thing. It happens all the time. When your candidate doesn't win, people think it's the end of the freaking world, and so they're saying, "Oh, I'm gonna move. I got my passport ready. I'm moving out of the country," or how we're gonna make these 4 years and this and that and the other. Look, I understand frustration, but sometimes people go a little bit overboard, right? But as I digress from that, a lot of people are still having the conversations. How could you lose? Why'd you lose? Still breaking down the key things that cause the Democratic nominee Kamala Harris to lose this election and the Republican nominee Donald Trump to win it. So, gentleman by the name of DJ VLAD. A lot of y'all might know him. He is the creator, founder of VLAD TV, which is one of the most watched YouTube channels on YouTube. I believe he has close to, wow, maybe close to like 7 million subscribers, maybe even more than that on YouTube. And he's had some really interesting conversations. I mean, really with people around pop culture, politicians, activists, comedians, entertainers, you name it. He he has spoken with them. And the unique thing of his interviews is you normally never see DJ Vlad. You don't. You never see what his face is like. For the longest, I never knew what he looked like. But he's always behind the camera, and it's like one-on-one conversations. He always has his guests front and center. They have the camera just, you know, literally facing them. The setting is no, it looks like it's sometimes even in a studio or a warehouse, and it's just a dope vibe. And they're long-standing conversations. They're not just like, oh, let me talk to you for 30 minutes or let me talk to you for 1 hour. No, they're long-standing conversations. Now, they're not to the length of like a Joe Rogan who will talk to you for damn near 6 hours, but they're pretty popular. He's one of the, I will say, one of the pioneers in YouTube interviews and streaming and social media. I will say that. But recently, DJ Vlad blames Kamala Harris for skipping VLAD TV, says it led to the election loss. Now, here's what I think, right? Here's what I think. Hold on real quick because I'm reading something. Okay, so let me correct what I said, because see, this is why it's always good to do your make sure read the fine print and read the details. So this is a graphic that is from the TMZ YouTube channel. So TMZ headlined it as DJ Vlad blames Kamala Harris for skipping VLAD TV, said it led to election loss. Now, immediately VLAD TV comment saying that that's not what I said. What I said was that if I had a 3-hour interview with her, it would have been bigger than any of the interviews she did during the election. I then said that if she had done Rogan, it would have been even bigger and potentially allow her to win some key states. This is why Rogan is in the picture. So right then and there, it gives you a little brief on it. So the reason why they brought up Joe Rogan is because Joe Rogan, he had the opportunity, which to me, this is a little grimy. Joe Rogan had the opportunity to interview both candidates. Now, obviously, Donald Trump loves to talk. He knows he had a much better strategy team. I'll just be honest, because at the end of the day, who did he nail the interview with? He ended up Rogan ended up interviewing Donald Trump. Became close to, or like right now, it's like close to 50 million views on that channel. First 24 hours, it was around 27 million views. Rogan then went on to say that he was in conversations with the Harris campaign, but their stipulations was he would have to travel to her, he would have to only do 1 hour interview, and he's like, that doesn't cut it. You can't do stuff for 1 hour. And look, I totally understand where Rogan's coming from, because that's not what he does. If you go on his listen to a lot of his interviews on an average, I would say, is like 2.5 hours on an average. He never does like, the crazy thing is 1 hour is considered like a short conversation in the world of podcasting. Now, on radio, a 1 hour interview is more than enough. That's very long. Even on TV, extremely long. Because most programs on linear television or on radio are an hour long. Now, some radio programs are on for 2 hours, some for 3 hours. But Rogan wasn't completely wrong, but at the end of the day, I think if my platform is I promote my platform on being a fair show where I interview anybody. To me, I don't have to like their stipulations, but best believe I do want to have a moment to talk with the candidate. But here's the funny thing. Joe Rogan ended up endorsing on the day before election. He ended up endorsing Donald Trump. So really, he kind of had a little method to his madness. He knew all along who he was going to vote for. I doubted that a 3 hour interview with Donald Trump was going to change his mind. Again, I'm not going to go too much into details, but just to throw in, Rogan employed by a surrogate of the Trump campaign, Dana White. Come on, Rogan's seen Donald Trump many occasions at UFC pay-per-views. So I doubted that, that was just that 3 hour interview said, up, I made my choice. I made my decision. Nah, I think he should have still made the effort to, because for me, I've always, and I guess I'm at a different level from Rogan, because Rogan is obviously on the Mount Rushmore of podcasting, but no interview is ever going to be too small. No interview is ever going to be too big for me. I'm going to always, any opportunity to interview someone, I'm going to do it, especially when they have a unique story, background, influence on society. I'm definitely going to try and accommodate or try my best to interview. I don't care if it's a phone call. I'm going to try and get that interview. So that's just me. And I'm no journalist, but that's just how I roll. But going back to VLAD TV had has a huge audience. And he's right. If they would have contacted him, I think they would have it would have helped, because she ended up going on All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, not trying to downgrade their success, not trying to downgrade them as individuals, because they're guys that has an audience that is more relatable to like everyday working class people. The sports audience love that show. The people that are huge fans of cannabis love All the Smoke. Hello, what's in the name? Then she went on, to it was a show called Call Her Daddy or Call You Daddy, something like that, which is I'm not too familiar with the podcast, but all I know is that the host signed like a buku contract with Spotify exclusively. I think it was like well over $100 million. So obviously a successful show. hosted by a white female blonde who has a huge audience. I preferably think it's is females. I don't think it's guys that tune into the show. So that was going to be a demographic, but yet again, I mean, the white female percentage, we've seen it on the stats. White females voted majority for Donald Trump. So again, that interview did not look up for for Kamala Harris. Vlad would have. He has the audience, even though the DJ is a yeah, I think he's a white gentleman. Yeah, but very soulful guy, right? Um, his primary audience is the black community, is people that probably are just over it with politics in general and feel like, none of them can be treated, fairly, or none of them are getting yeah, none of them are getting their voice heard. So I think he really could have hit a demographic that hurt, that could have been helpful for the Kamala Harris campaign. Let me read this article. This is reported by Baller Alert. It says here, in a tweet, DJ Vlad, host of the popular VLAD TV YouTube channel, shared his take on what he believes was a missed opportunity by the Kamala Harris media team during the election season. Now, according to Vlad, he was in talks with Kamala Harris, with Kamala's team for months, trying to secure an interview with her and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, but they ultimately passed on both. Now, he tweeted, "For the record, I was in contact with Kamala Harris media team for months trying to set up an interview with Walz, and they ultimately passed on both. I think my interview with her would have been her biggest interview if I had free reign to do the interview I wanted to do." So really, Vlad had the same conflict that Joe Rogan had. The candidates came with stipulations, and they're like, look, you're here to serve the people. You don't have the right to give us stipulations. No, we're gonna tell you our availability. We're gonna tell you how it's gonna be done, and you're gonna come and be ready to answer these questions. Don't be pre giving me no questions. No, we gonna handle this right. That's how it should have been done, y'all. And I guarantee you that would have benefited the Harris campaign. It might have not have caused her to win, or maybe we just don't know. One thing about Donald Trump is Donald Trump never stays on script. He is always going to be an ad lib, a free, it's going to be just a free range conversation. You don't know where it's going to go. You really don't. It says here that Kamala's team really dropped the ball when and this is being told from Vlad, Kamala's team really dropped the ball when it came to the interviews they scheduled for her during the campaign. Her biggest bad decision was turning down Joe Rogan. I totally agree. Who just gave Trump one of the biggest interviews of all time on YouTube. It's ridiculous, by the way. If they had been a forward-thinking as Trump and made their rounds on all the important podcasts, I think she would have flipped some of the key states she barely lost and possibly won the election. He's absolutely right. He is absolutely right. I'm trying to make sure I mentioned everything. No, he's absolutely right. I have no disagreements with Vlad. Again, just another fail on the Harris Walz campaign. At the end of the day, when you are trying to win an election, you want to promote to the masses. Again, no audience is too small. No, even if their strategists think, oh, that wouldn't work, that, because I guarantee some of the strategists don't even know most of the podcasts out there. There's just, and shout out to Roland Martin, because he has always said the strategists in today's age, they're not on one accord with the people and with the prime demographic, with the market. They're continuing that they're using old tactics that do not benefit the candidates. And guess what? It showed. It truly showed, y'all. Yeah, it's a loss on the Democratic Party. As always, it's a total loss. which I want to play you this video before I get on to our next. Well, actually, let me see here. Let me look at my time. Let me change it up a little bit. Where am I? Where am I at? Where am I at? Where am I at? God dang it! Well, let me play you this. Let me play you this quick soundbite. This was the Harris Kamala Harris her former communications director. I believe his name is Jamal Simmons. He voiced an interesting angle on both CNN and X. And here's what he had to say. He was on, I believe, Abby Phillips' program on CNN. And let me go ahead and play this soundbite for you, and then we will kind of dissect that a little bit. So I thought it was quite interesting as well. Let me find that video for you guys. Because everybody's just, I'm telling you, everybody's just still like, I guess in shock mode. Everybody's still depressed. I mean, I'm just like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. You know, I wasn't satisfied with the outcome, but hey, it happened. It happened. All right, so let me play this soundbite for you all, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
We're now 71 days from Trump taking the oath of office. What is the most important thing that everybody is looking for? That is my question. I'll start with you.
Joe Biden's been a phenomenal president. He's lived up to so many of the promises he's made. There's one promise left that he could fulfill, being a transitional figure. He could resign the presidency in the next 30 days, make Kamala Harris the president of the United States.
Whoa.
It would absolve her from being able to from having to oversee the January 6th transition, right, of her own defeat. And it would make sure that it would dominate the news at a point where Democrats have to learn drama and transparency and doing things that the public want to see. Is the time. This is the moment for us to change the entire perspective of how Democrats
operate. This is now jumped from an internet meme.
His last promise, it would give Kamala Harris the chance to be the 47th president of the United States of America. It would disrupt all of Donald Trump's paraphernalia, right? You have to rebrand everything. But and it would make it easier for the next woman who runs for president to not have to worry about all the historical, weight of being the first. So his last promise, it would give.
So, I mean, like, I don't even know how to respond to that. So, Jamal Simmons, former communication director for VP Kamala Harris, had said what the current president, Joe Biden, what he should do is be the transitional president that he promised, resign, step down, and then let Kamala Harris finish out the year. Okay, let her finish out the year as president of the United States. I mean, it's a cute idea. I'm not, it's cute because, again, 2024 is literally almost over. Like, she's going to be president for less than 2 months. I mean, like, it almost shows that people, like, I feel as though they're all just saying, Joe, you should have been. Maybe it was a bad idea for Joe to be president in general. Like, I mean, literally, they're just saying, "Oh man, got to sit down. Come on, be nice. Give us a gift. Step down." Like, I mean, this is really like an attack on old folks. Is it just me? They were showing a video of Joe Biden and his wife. They were walking on somewhere on the sand, and it was just, it was kind of a funny clip, but it was showing him trying to hold his balance because the sand obviously wasn't leveled, and they're just like saying, "Oh." And you see his wife just walking all nice and just like, maybe she was on more level ground, but I mean, Joe's taking a beating. He really is. He's really taking a beating. I mean, again, a lot of folks are not happy, myself included. But to hear the communication director make this suggestion on national television, and he's very serious. He's not joking about it. He's very serious. First of all, it would never happen. That's why, if you for those who are watching this clip, you had CNN political commentator, conservative voice on CNN, Scott Jennings, like, look at him like, is this man really serious? Like, he just thought it was hilarious. And I think it's hilarious too. Now, if it really happens, that will be wild. Again, so many turn events in politics. Like, it's just sky's the limit now. Sky's the limit. You don't know what can happen. And it could happen. It could happen. Because here's the thing. But then if that does, that will defeat the purpose on possibly having Kamala Harris be a part of the Supreme Court. Again, remember that rumor. Now, it still is a rumor. I won't say it's finalized because Justice Sotomayor had said, hey, she's here to stay. She has no plans on resigning. But again, I feel like when you have influential people within the Democratic Party trying to say, look at the opportunity this can happen. You don't want to do what Ruth Bader Ginsburg did, right? You don't want to stay there until you literally head on up to heaven. You know what I mean? So it's interesting, but I just wanted to play you guys this because it's so many new things happening with this post-election season. And it's just it's just I never saw that coming at all. How are we looking with time? Let me digress. Let me move on to another story that I had forgot to mention on the last show. Former New York Congressman Anthony Weiner. Does that ring a bell for any of y'all? Anthony Weiner. So, and his last name is spelled Weiner, Weiner. And the crazy thing is he was in deep hot water for, you guessed it, sending Weiner pics to apparently an individual who was underage. I can. Oh, let me see. Let me try and grab. Okay, so this is. Hold on, I'm just trying to get my notes all in one place. There we go. All right, so this is reported by City and State New York. It says here that Anthony Weiner mules a city council run in Lower Manhattan. Now, former Representative Anthony Weiner is thinking about mounting another political comeback attempt, this time in the New York City. Okay, this time in the New York City Council. Speaking during his weekly radio show on 77 WABC Saturday afternoon, says here that Weiner said he's considering entering the race for a term limit council member, Carolina Rivera's seat in Lower Manhattan. While he said he's yet to make up his mind, it's a decision he strongly is considering, particularly in the wake of the presidential election. He said, look, I'm thinking about it. I'm wrestling with it, pointing to what he described as a myriad of quality of life issues in his district and city at large. I love doing this job on the radio, but I want to be of service. Now, the Council District 2 Democratic primary races is already competitive. It includes Assembly member Harvey Epstein. Wow. Can we just pause and Harvey Epstein? Woo! He must get joked about that a lot. I'm not making this up. Harvey Epstein is his full name. Recently, they made fun of him on Saturday Night Live. It says here, so it also says that Manhattan Community Board 3 chair, Manhattan Community Board 3 chair Andrea Gordillo and Community Board 3 vice chair and nonprofit leader Sarah Bachu. Fundraising is also well underway. Excuse me. All three candidates have already raised more than $50,000 for their campaigns. Bachu currently leads with roughly $60,000 raised. Now, even by New York standards, Weiner's career has seen a remarkable amount of scandal. He's been out of office since 2011 when he resigned amid a sexting scandal that involves several women, including a minor. He attempted a comeback run for mayor in 2013, which was derailed by yet another sexting scandal. Man just like to get nasty. Stop being nasty. In 2017, he was sentenced to 21 months in prison for sexting a minor. A federal search of Weiner's laptop in connections to sexting investigation unearthed emails that furthered a federal probe into then presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's via Weiner's ex-wife and Clinton's aide, Huma Abedin, I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. Weiner, I keep on saying Weiner, Lord have mercy. Weiner acknowledged that all together, while there's numbers of reasons not to run, he feels Democrats are not doing a good enough job tackling problems like crime, homelessness, and the housing shortage. I quote, it says here, the things in my past, the things about my addiction, the things about my acting out, the things about my background, it's a lot. But we're at a moment that we Democrats, we seem like we come into knife fights carrying library books all the time. A mentee of Chuck Schumer, Weiner served in the New York City Council from 1992 to 98 before succeeding Schumer in Congress. As of early October, he hasn't opened a campaign account for the seat. Now, another quote I'm reading says here, this is from Epstein, anyone who wants to run should run for sure, Epstein said when asked about Weiner's interests. That is the democratic process. Cordello and Virtue were less open to the idea. They quoted saying families in Lower Manhattan deserve better than failed New York and Washington politicians using our moment of need for their own political comeback. With the threats of the next Trump presidency here, we need fierce progressive leadership to stand up for our values and protect our community. Trump wins, and now every creepy, washed-up politician thinks they can make a comeback. My constituents deserve better than to serve as the audience of a disgraced politician's redemption tour. Woo! She went ham. That was hilarious. But she's telling the truth. She is telling the truth. Look, me personally, I don't think it's a good idea for Anthony Weiner to run for public office. He's very fortunate the fact that he got this gig on a very popular talk radio station out in New York City. Like, he's very, very, very fortunate. Very fortunate. Because again, we live in a society where you are involved in a crime involving minors. Bro, you lose your career, you lose your livelihood, you barely even come out to see the light of day, because it's just like, especially in a busy city like New York, man, come on. But look, I'll be honest, I've tuned into his radio show, and his qualities, his portfolio as a politician with his policies, the knowledge that he has is sharp. Now again, his personal life, man's a freak. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm just saying, and he served his time. Now he served his time. But I think that what the lady said is true. He knows he cannot make it nowhere near close to a higher level as far as Congress ever again. So let me go ahead and lower my standards by going to a city council seat, because that might be easy for me. That might be a way to make my comeback. I mean, that's literally how it looks. It's hard to argue that. But again, I think that he should stay put in radio. He is the only Democrat, the only liberal he's on a majority conservative talk radio station, which again, hey, he's not scared to debate any of them. So yeah, I give him his props on that. I'm a person, I wouldn't mind going, having a show on a conservative station, as long as I have the rights to interview and talk about whatever I want on my show. Hey, give me that platform. And that's what they did to him. They gave him that platform. So yeah, that is that about Mr. Weiner. Oh geez, the names, man. Harvey Epstein, Anthony Weiner, yeesh, all on the same ticket. Woo, I don't know how that will go. What am I gonna do right now? I'm gonna do a quick commercial break. Gotta take a breather. We're gonna come back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere, my friends. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. What is happening, y'all? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Welcome back. So looks like there's some tension happening in the. Let's move it on to pop culture. Let's get out of politics. Let's go to entertainment and pop culture. So this is reported by Vibe magazine. It says here that Jason Lee, the founder of Hollywood Unlocked and newly elected California councilman, claims that Megan Thee Stallion, and Winnie Harlow fought at Michael Rubin's party. Whoa. So it says here that Jason Lee just dropped a new bombshell, and this one has fans debating is there truth to his claims. On the latest episode of his podcast, the Jason Lee podcast, the media voice teased that there is some serious tension between Meg Thee Stallion and model Winnie Harlow. He claimed that the two stars got into a physical altercation at one of Michael Rubin's parties. He quotes Megan, listened, I wish you the best. You seem happy today. He started off addressing the Houston hot girl. Everybody keeps asking me to release the tea on Megan that I said I was going to spill. Now, she got into a fight with Winnie Harlow at Michael Rubin's party. Without expounding on his wild claims, Lee admitted he's still waiting on the full details in an alleged video. He also clarified that he reached out to both Megan and Winnie, and another quote, boom, there you go. He added, I have a good weekend. It's time for thoughts and prayers. Lee did not share a clear timeline of the alleged drama, but both women have attended a few of the same Michael Rubin events in the past, such as the annual all-white party and Fanatics events. As a video of an alleged incident has yet to surface, social media has much to say about Lee's claims. Now, let's see. Says Dish, she tried to force Winnie to drink as well. One person wrote on X referring to prior claims of Meg urging Nicki Minaj to drink while allegedly being pregnant. Another commented, LMFAO, why is this so believable? Because I've heard Winnie has a nasty attitude. A third person wrote, I need the video, not no damn rumor, Jason. A fourth person remarked saying, so yet another example of her being violent, her being Megan Thee Stallion. Same way y'all use the altercation between Tory and August Alina as proof. So is this. So looks like, again, it's so far we don't know if it's truth or if it's false. Now, I will say that Jason Lee is a respected man by many of Hollywood elites. You know, stars, actors, musicians, they love Jason Lee. I mean, hell, he nabbed an interview with RFK, for crying out loud. RFK Jr., excuse me. I would doubt. I say all that to say that Jason Lee is a respected person, somebody that says, hey, he shares some accurate information. Now, it sucks because it's gossip like, right? But he has an audience. He's grown a career, highly successful. I tune into his stories on a regular. It's unfortunate because once again, by the looks of it, one side is saying that they've heard Winnie having a nasty attitude. Another person said, well, yet Megan's involved in another physical and violent altercation. So maybe she's the issue. I'll just say this, guys, and I'll move on to my next story. Y'all are grown ass women. Y'all are successful. You are making tons of money. You are representative of your families. You're representative of your fans. There's little girls that look up to you. You are black women. All right. Please act right. And I might be getting, some feedback saying, first of all, you a dude, don't be telling women what I'm not telling y'all what to do, but what I'm saying is, when is enough enough? Are we gonna continue to publicize this? Are we going to promote this? Because we're already disgracing ourselves with these stupid ass reality TV shows, like Love and Hip Hop, the Housewives platforms, anything on Zeus. Okay, Ratchet Television. You're disgracing yourselves. Like, it's just it's in my opinion, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's annoying because people already judge us as a community. So why are you making their ammunition more full? Why are you making them? It's easy to just continue disrespect. Come on now, act right, act right. This man, Michael Rubin, highly successful individual, he invites you because he sees you guys being very influential and successful, and like y'all have achieved a platform where you all are welcome into his inner circle of people. Come on now, act right. That's all I'm gonna say. Act right. Get it together. All right, moving on. Jeez, got my blood boiling over here. Okay, let's move on to sports. So I just found this out and I thought it was pretty interesting. So Lil Wayne, who is known for being a sports guy. Oh, actually, before I move to Lil Wayne, I wanted to show you this this clip because talking about Meg Thee Stallion and Winnie, maybe, and this is the idea, Hollywood beef should be dealt with in the ring. And I'm not talking about those celebrity boxing matches that we normally see. I'm talking about slap-offs. Uh-oh, let me see here. Y'all ever seen, them power slap competitions? I think it's owned now by Dana White. Have you ever seen this? Check this video out. For y'all who are listening, y'all can just, hey, you'll listen. Do y'all hear those slaps? This is probably the dumbest league I've ever seen. And I'm sorry, but when I see the people that are competing, and I'm like, how low can you go in your life to say, look, I'm going to compete in a slap competition, a new slap league, where I just stand there, get slapped from a person who's going to they're slapping to take my head off, and whoever is still conscious wins. Like, I understand. Anyways, y'all. Let me go ahead and because I'm gonna stay in sports, but maybe that's how Meg and Winnie need to settle their difference. Or all celebrity beef should just put it in the ring, slap off. Come on, let's go. Where was I talking? Okay, Lil Wayne. Back to Lil Wayne. So, Lil Wayne, huge sports fan, by the way. He recently had debuted his sports talent on Undisputed, which was then hosted and moderated by Skip Bayless. It was a popular debate sports show that started off with Skip and Shannon, very successful. Then went on to kind of go on a revamp after Shannon Sharp had left. I think he left after close to 6-7 years. He ended up leaving Undisputed because he had a success with his podcast. He ended up signing with ESPN's First Take, one of the probably the largest sports debate show in the world. And you also tossed in Lil Wayne from time to time on a weekly basis. He was also the person who sung the theme song of the show of Undisputed. But it says here Lil Wayne will be joining NFL GameDay Morning as a weekly guest. Now, I think this would be cool. I think this is a way of the NFL to try and build a great relationship with Lil Wayne, because obviously he's feeling some type of way after not being named the halftime performer for the upcoming Super Bowl this season. The Super Bowl that will be held in New Orleans, his hometown. He felt some type of way, but I've shared my opinion on that. I personally think they picked the right guy. Kendrick Lamar is in well deserved to perform Super Bowl halftime. There's never been a hometown person that performed in, there's never been a halftime performer that's performed in their hometown. So all this saying, oh, Lil Wayne was snubbed. Lil Wayne don't have the numbers right now like Kendrick has. Kendrick has the most listened song of the year. Okay. It's all about what have you done for us lately? And Kendrick, sorry, but you are up there much higher than Wayne. Now, Wayne is an icon. He is royalty in the world of hip hop. But Lil Wayne, there will be so many other opportunities. So So please, you can be frustrated, but at the end of the day, I think they picked a great person to do it. And I honestly, you never know. I hope Kendrick says, hey, look, Wayne, you mind being a feature in my halftime show? Maybe do something like that. But this is a article reported by Deadline. I'm gonna try and read this in the short time that we have. It says here, Lil Wayne is set to give his takes as he joins NFL GameDay Morning on the NFL Network. Now, the Grammy-winning artist will join the sports talk show on Sunday as a weekly guest. He's starting later on in the month. Wayne will appear weekly for the rest of the NFL season alongside Rich Eisen, Kurt Warner, Steven Mariucci, and Gerald McCoy. It was announced during halftime of Sunday's New York Giants and Carolina Panthers game in Munich that Wayne would be joining the morning show. Lil Wayne is an avid sports fan and a diehard Green Bay Packers supporter. The rapper is also no stranger to commenting on sports and made regular guest appearances on, as I mentioned before, Fox Sports 1's Undisputed alongside Skip Bayless following Shannon Sharp's departure. The sports show also featured Wayne's singing the theme song, Good Morning. I'll say this, y'all. I'm not really going to be into seeing Wayne on a weekly basis weekly from time to time on the show. I get irritated when Wayne talks. I'm sorry. Wayne with that, like his voice really just, I can't, like in my ear, like please make it stop. I don't know if it's Wayne used to party hard a lot, and he always dabbed in the purple. That's all I'm gonna say. He always dabbed in that syrup. That's what I heard. That, and I mean like, and maybe I never even watched him when he was on Undisputed, and I watched Undisputed like that. And when it was like time for Wayne, I'm like, oh, time to switch, time to listen to something else. Like, I don't want to hear Lil Wayne's take on it. I really don't. But I do enjoy the fact that they bring in pop culture figures and public figures that are sports fans, rather than just hearing it from, former NFL stars and, the professionals. I like, because really it's nothing like having a great conversation like at the barbershop or, with the fellas, or just with sports fans about sports. Because like my mother-in-law is a sports guru. She needs her own sports show. I highly recommend she needs her own sports show. I'm saying it right now here on the show. My mother-in-law needs her own sports show, talking about, and focusing on women's sports, but she's a basketball guru. So I'm just putting that out there. And she actually played. So she's she has a much higher quality than I'm. I don't know if Wayne was a football player like that, but I do know. No, okay, let me stop. Anyways, yes. So that's breaking news. So congrats to Wayne on getting more of that money, and yeah, it's a pretty solid gig right there. What else do I want to toss up? How am I looking with time? Real quick, I think I'm gonna toss this up, and then I will. Let me bring this one up. So I don't know how true and accurate this story is, but if it is true, this is a rumor right now. This is a rumor that Chris Wallace, the legendary journalist, could be leaving CNN. He's one of probably the most recognized stars on the network. At the time, he was there to help build the network. When he left Fox News, because he hosted Fox Sunday for I think almost 21 years, and he left abruptly, went on to CNN, the competition, and they were like, oh snap, it's about to go down. And so he then was going to host a regular, I think a weekday show on their streaming network, which eventually became a huge fail for not for him, but just CNN failed on accomplishing having a streaming network similar to how Fox News has Fox Nation. So he then his show was kind of on hold. It's owned by Warner Brothers, or Discovery and Warner Brothers. So his show airs on the streaming platforms of Max, as well as on I think CNN Max, which is like a channel within Max streaming service. He also hosts a weekly show on CNN every Saturdays called The Chris Wallace Show, which is a panel discussion show. Very, very sharp. I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of Chris Wallace because he's always been a fair journalist. And so apparently he might be leaving CNN after his 3-year contract is up with them to build a future in streaming, because hey, Chris Wallace, he's literally worked for all networks, all different networks, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, CNN, probably PBS, all of them, right? All of them. He's 77 years old. I doubt that he wants to stay for a long period with CNN, and he wanted to be a part of the upbringing of CNN, but he's like, look, podcasting, streaming is really the avenue. It's the pace that I can flow. So again, this is rumor. I don't know how true this is. Right now, I'm reading an article from the Daily Beast, which they bring out some pretty accurate stuff from time to time. So it will be interesting if this is true. Look, I want to continue to possibly talk more about this on our social media platform, as well as on our Substack at the Arrington Gavin Show. But again, don't know how true it is. But if so, there's a rumor having it that Chris Wallace could be leaving CNN, not fired, but leaving at his own will. So we will see from there, my friends. Look, we are moments away from ending the show. Once again, my friends, thank you so much for taking the time out your busy schedule for tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. Be sure to tune in weeknights, Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. on WDJY 99.1 FM. Straight Talk, all right, as well as wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube. You can check out the show on YouTube as well as on Rumble. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show, X, as well as our Substack, all right, at the Arrington Gavin Show. Take care, family. God bless. I will see you next time. Peace.